As it stands, Kerp has put on his carry pants because he is doing a phenomenal job with the Ziggs. He's got 3 of his team's 4 kills. His Mega Inferno bombs, maybe they haven't got kills, but they've put so much pressure on Super Hot Crew. And every time Kerp has been needed, he's been roaming on a champion that's not necessarily a super strong roamer. Yes, he's got good range with his ultimate, but he's pushed that bottom lane. He helped on the Dragon. He got a kill in the top lane, got a lot of damage on that tower. And with Dragon respawning in 30 seconds, he's just finished off his Sorcerer's Shoes as well. So in conjunction with that needlessly large rod, he's got a lot of damage to work with.
RNA heading up in towards the enemy jungle, and that pesky pink ward spot, we saw it already in our last game, seems to be haunting RNA as well this time. He didn't actually check that rush, so that pink will stay alive. Let's have a look down some of the items that have come in then, specifically down in the bottom lane after those exchanges. Bloodthirster Zeal is done for Creatine. Other side, Bloodthirster Pickaxe. So fewer damage going to be on Mr. Royal's side. Yeah,
Mr. Royal's maybe feeling a little bit of pressure, wants to go for that last Whisper. We'll see if it works out. From Super Hot Crew start the Dragon first, but they can't afford to stay on it because Kerp's bouncing bombs are going to zone them out. Moops eats 1, drops a lot of his HP. And every time Super Hot Crew go in, Millennium will just keep poking them down, waiting for RNA to go in when they're low.
Off to the side, flanking with that Evelyn. There's the start again from the Super Hot Crew. Let's not forget, last time around Impaler just stole that Dragon away, as we're going to see the combo. Mixer going very low. They do get the Dragon here, the Super Hot Crew. And will they survive with all 5 men alive? Yes, for now at least. Mixer still waiting. The bomb's still bouncing in, and Kerp too scared to actually go in there. Mixer does actually get away with his life intact. Just tucked himself in the corner and I think prayed for a while.
That was a little bit weird. Yes, RNA took a lot of damage very early on, but Chrono Shift was available there. They didn't use that from Zilean. Do you see the bouncing bombs coming out, not getting kills? Millennium kind of wanted to challenge. RNA went low, and I think he probably made the call to back away. So Millennium, they give up that Dragon. Super Hot Crew secured. That's the second Dragon of the game for them. Previous one, Impaler, was actually able to sneak away from Millennium, and it's keeping them in touching distance. So 1,500 gold down, but they're not by no means out of it. They still haven't made a play of their own. Impaler's got a good gank in the top lane, but they haven't pushed for any other towers, with the exception of the one they got following the kill in the bottom lane.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they evened up the tower score now, they'd be actually ahead in this game. So we'll see if they can actually get into a scenario where they can push those towers down. And I think part of the reason why it's so hard is because of that Evelyn on the map. You never quite know when she's going to come in there to rescue and put you in a position where you're down by a man or two.
And you know what's going to be even more difficult for Super Hot Crew is actually sieging a tower. If there's a couple members of Millennium up, there's wave clear from Undertows, there's wave clear from Ziggs, there's wave clear from Caitlyn, and those bombs are also going to be doing, splash damage across all of the minions. So Millennium have got a lot of champions that are going to be able to clear out those minion waves quite efficiently and quite effectively. So Super Hot Crew need to find kills, and they need to either out-rotate Millennium, catching them off guard, or they just have to be in a very, very advantageous position where Millennium are too afraid to even be standing on their tower.
Move off for Kerp. Certainly do with that one. RNA just giving him a bit of a helping hand. Of course, RNA did challenge for that red buff last time around, so we'll see if he ends up on that side of the map again. Kevin just going to do a standard top lane thing and keep pushing. So, Sunfire Cape is now in his inventory, so that'll certainly help things out on that front. Got the Ninja Tabi as well, so stacking up that armor against the Jax just to be able to go up against it, because whilst damage is going to help him, obviously with that Reckless String, the true damage coming out from him, he's always going to have that source.
The thing is, it's quite difficult for Kevin, because even with the armor that he had previously, he didn't have the HP to survive the rest of the damage from Impaler's Kha'Zix. And also, there's a good chunk of damage that is magic from Jax. His Empower and his W, and the third attack from his ultimate is going to be doing a lot of magic damage. So Kevin's going to want some MR suit. As it stands, Millennium gets a good poke at Impaler, and they're going to grab themselves a completely free turret.
Not just the siege potential here, but the zoning that they've got just from Ziggs alone. I mean, Kerp has been really, really accurate today with those bouncing bombs. You've got that minefield, which just keeps you out of a complete area. Millennium simply take that inner turret. They're going to back away, and that just edges their gold lead a little bit further out.
So one of the things that Millennium can do very well for the rest of this game, because they've got good siege, both aggressive and defensive tools they can use to their advantage, if Millennium just decide to disengage every team fight, but push every tower, move up, land poke, grab the town, then run away. use the Zillion speed up, get undertows to get rid of people, put the minefield down so Super Hot could not chase them. Millennium have got a legitimate tactic of just playing towers. They don't have to fight because they've got the longest range AD carry with Caitlyn, who can get those auto attacks on the turrets, with Ziggs and Olaf and Zillion putting poke down.
I'm here just waiting in the brush. Impaler is going to be coming towards that top lane. RNA going to be spotted. Mime actually going to stun him up here. We'll see if he can actually finish him up. That is a lot of damage coming RNA's way. Can he escape it? No, he can't. Mime gets that one. Impaler has to jump away, but Kevin is not messing around. He gets the undertow down onto Impaler. 1 for 1, but Jack's got the kill for the Super Hot crew.
The one thing that is good to see from that, though, now that Kevin's got that Spectre's Cowl, he's got some MR to at least survive some of that magic damage that Mime is putting out. Aranea now needs to get a little bit more tanky. He's got the makings of that Randion's Omen, but as we've seen, as soon as Mime focuses him, he lost about half of his hit points from one spell reel, from one combo there from Mime's Jax. Aranea really needs to avoid getting caught up by Jax. I think his focus is going to be trying to zone out Mr. Rawls, forcing him back if some of these bigger team fights break out.
Just touch on the AD carries again. We mentioned earlier that Creatine had fallen behind in that lane. Actually, quite far ahead at this point now. 206 to 180 CS there of Mr. Rawls. So that constant poke and pressure from Jerry helped them get the lane back. And the fact is, Creatine has spent a lot of time on his own, just pushing wave after wave after wave and farming up.
Yeah, the tower being down for Millennium also plays a little bit into Creatine's favor because the wave is pushing against him. You see, it's only really now reset itself and moving all the way up to Super Hot Crew's tower. So Creatine's had a lot of time basically safe farming. In order for Super Hot Crew to get to him, they have to extend very deep in that lane. There's 40 seconds until Dragon. Super Hot Crew have grabbed both of the previous ones, albeit there's been quite awkward engages, I think, for both of the teams. Millennium have got pretty good vision. Actually, they've got phenomenal vision around the Dragon Pit. So very, very clear. I'm expecting Millennium to challenge for that next Dragon.
Pink wards cleared out by Super Hot Crew. They've got that one ward down in the Death Bush. There's one in the Tri-Bush as well for Millennium as they put a few over, and then another pink ward in to clear as much out as they possibly can. Pink ward itself probably going to go down as they just say battle over wards inside of that Death Bush for now. As a trap goes in, that'll stop them getting in. Put your own ward in there and see if they step on it.
Yeah, that'll help just a little bit, get that poke down. Now, Millennium, I don't really think they're looking for a team fight here. I think with their composition having so much disengage and such fantastic long-range poke, they want to get damage down on Super Hot Crew and then either finish up with an Evelynn or an Olaf, like getting a kill, or they just simply want to zone them out. Now, RNA has gone low. Chrono Shift is available. He gets a Dragon.
He gets it. Finally, Millennium are able to pick up a Dragon. There's a good shockwave. Jerry gonna follow. He actually had to flash away from that one. No one died just yet. RNA getting caught by the hook. Moops will finish him off. He's a Dragon for a kill.
Definitely worth it for Millennium. Kerp is going to try zoning out Super Hot Crew. The rest of Millennium are now barreling down this middle lane. Creatine is untouched right now. They're going to get on this inhibitor turret. Thresh will be the first one to defend, but he's not going to be enough to push them off.
Guards in there for Mixer. But can they stop this turret going down? Will Millennium stick around? Actually, no, they won't. They're going to back away from that one. Top inner turret is available for the taking, although they don't have the minion wave on their side yet.
So the home guard boots of Impaler put a little bit of fear onto Millennium. If Millennium had stuck around and been jumped on by potential, like Impaler and Mima, Jax Kha'Zix combo, there is the potential for them to have got, you know, killed and cleaned up. They didn't have their ultimates. Now all of a sudden, Millennium, they fall back to the jungle. Super Hot Crew are going to grab a tower.
And this is something that I feel like we've not seen in quite a long time, where a team simply runs up mid, then runs away and almost leaves a free tower. No defense on it whatsoever. Good move from the Super Hot Crew, though. Didn't quite get it finished off in the end, though, which is something that they, to be honest, need at this point. I mean, it's 2,700 gold, most of which is in the towers that Millennium have taken.
I think all of it is in those towers. Yeah. Even on kills, CS is in favor of Millennium. I mean, Olaf is definitely ahead of Mima. You can see Creatine's pulled ahead of Mr. Rawls as well, but it hasn't necessarily equated to a massive item difference. Kevin is still working towards that Randion's Omen. You can see Mima now with his Trinity Force and his Blade of the Ruined King. He's got a lot of damage. And if he's going to go for the same build that we've seen previously, Guardian Angel is going to be next. So with this red buff as well, I actually feel like he's got some dueling potential on Kevin in a 1v1, especially if Impaler's going to hang out with him. You can see Impaler's wings have also been enlarged, so he's got that evolved leap, which means resets are a potential if there's multiple people involved.
Kevin Kevin actually was recalling, but now he's going to come in, try and challenge Mima. He's already seen Impaler's position though, as RNA is taking as much from the jungle as he possibly can. See that his Void Staff was picked up as well by Kurt now. So Rabadon's, Athene's, Void Staff and those Sorcerer Shoes. A lot of damage from this 6.
There's next to no MR items for Super Hot Crew. There's a tiny bit with that Hex Drinker, and you know, Athene's gives you a little as well, but truthfully, no Spur Visages, no Banshees Veils, and I think Super Hot Crew need to prioritize some MR soon, because if Kerp and Millennium are able to put them once again in those siege positions, the bouncing bombs were already hurting before the Void Staff was picked up, so they're going to hurt significantly more.
Mima trying his best to get on that turret, which Kevin has done so well to protect. Now Kerp is headed up toward the top lane. Impaler is already waiting. They know where Impaler is. There's the first bouncing bomb coming in. And actually just dive in between the two of them. See how quickly that comes off cooldown here when he's got that blue buff running in the Athenes.
Yeah, it definitely helps out. We do see the rest of Super Hot Crew. They were thinking about going in, but they don't have more information to work with. The rest of Millennium now grouped up. We talked about how the strength of Millennium's composition is actually going to be in sieging towers. You know, either defending against it or pushing. The big over-aggression in Millennium, but I think Super Hot Crew may have bitten off more than they can chew.
Yeah, Mixer actually at the back is going to be focused down. Kerp now on a rampage as he picks up that one, and that means that this turret is pretty much a freebie for them. Super Hot Crew, are they going to try and sit behind it and defend? I don't think they really can. Another minion wave actually coming in. There's a poke again, and there is the ace in the hole, blocked out by Mima.
And that is melting Mima. He still has no defensive items picked up. Still sitting on his tier 1 boots. Millennium can continue the siege. Without Mixer there for the engage, you're just going to see Kerp throwing out those bouncing bombs over and over and over.
They don't need to move from this position now, Millennium. They can continue to just poke and poke. Mima off to the side, not full HP. Moop's in a similar scenario. It's all about getting the minions here quick enough for them, and they see as soon as Mixer comes back in, he's the one that can really start things off. But how? He's got to basically dive into the middle of the team. I think he's dead before he can really set anything up.
There's a time limit for Super Hot Crew when defending against this much poke. The longer you stay there, the more difficult it is to defend because of the splash. The rest of Super Hot Crew are they were toying with the idea of pushing down the mid lane, maybe going to that turret and pulling Millennium towards them. But if you do that, Millennium's just going to say, great, go get our outer middle turret, we'll get you an inhibitor turret. It's a trade Millennium will take, which is, I think, why Super Hot Crew backed away. At the end of the day, Millennium, play this one a little safe. It's still a minute to Dragon. Probably got some money to spend. Get ready and go for the next Dragon fight.
Lanes are working with them as well. Top one pushed on straight through. Bottom one has just been pushed back a little bit by Mr. Rolls, but going way past that halfway point. Super Hot Crew trying to buy themselves a bit of time here by shoving out as much as they possibly can. Now, we have seen a last whisper now finished in there for Clearton, so what armor there is, and even armor there's
not much.
Actually none. Like,
it's glass cannons here for Super Hot Crew. So what that does mean is yes, you have the ability to win team fights and you have the ability to kill Millennium, but you've actually got to do it. You've actually got to jump on Millennium, look for a fight. And as it stands, you know, the previous fight, Millennium played it perfectly. They had Kevin and Aranea quite extended in the lane. As Super Hot Crew were trying to go on those two, you know, tanky sort of frontline champions, the rest of Millennium just closed in from behind and suffocated any possibilities for Super Hot Crew to fight. And Super Hot Crew just still looking for that moment. 3,000 gold, it's not unthinkable to win a team fight, but they have to be very, very, very careful.
From this one, we can see the Millennium have slightly backed away from it. What is the plan from them? Fight from a distance. They've got great poke. We've seen it time and time again. There's another bouncing bomb coming in, and see what amount of damage that it's able to do to the team. And just a couple landing, and Super Hot Crew's plans of even challenging for Dragon go.
Now, because Aranea is sitting on the side, the moment one or two more bombs land, we've seen Kerp opening up team fights with that Mega Inferno bomb. Body blocked by, I think that was Mr. Rolls actually. Rest of Millennium are trying to surround them. Super Hot Crew being split. This is good for Millennium. If they want to start a fight, Aranea can go in. But Mima wants to jump on the back line.
They are going straight into this one. There is the bomb coming down the back. Moops is dead. I don't think Mixer's going to survive. Ragnarok Olaf is charging in. Aranea actually got one. He flashes over the wall to chase down Impaler. Couldn't quite get in on top of him, but nonetheless, that's 2-0. That's a Dragon for Millennium.
Super Hot Crew were so scared of that poke. They split up. They were in two different entrances to the river. and Millennium just ran them down. Millennium have got a lot of movement, they've got a lot of damage, and now they're extending that gold lead. It's now 6,000 gold right now. The Super Hot Crew needed a team fight right then to not let this game fall out even further out of the control, and that's definitely not going to help them.
Baron started off by Millennium. How is this one going to go from Impala's waiting over the side? He's actually taking damage from the red buff here. Bouncing bomb almost enough to take him out, and he's zoned by the minefield. The Baron is super low. Are they going to be able to steal it? No, they're not. RNA will smite that one down. And now Millennium not only having that dragon, the last dragon, not only having the advantage in terms of turrets, now they've got a Baron buff to work with as well.
Now with the regen that they've got from the Baron, I wholeheartedly expect Millennium to just siege for the next 4 minutes. Potentially just going to the bottom lane, getting the last inner turret that's available, and then just moving on to the inhibitor turrets. They can spend the money that they've earned, use the composition to its full effect. They don't need to team fight because they've got all the tools they need to win the tower battle. And this is quite a smart composition that they are pulling out for their last game of Super Week.
So, on the other side of the coin then, Millennium is clear what they have to do to win this game. What can Super Hot Crew to stop Millennium doing that to them? Like, what is the plan for Super Hot Crew right now?
So what Super Hot Crew needed to have done in probably that last Dragon fight or the one prior to it is actually use a shockwave on multiple members of Millennium. We've not seen that shockwave come down in any real team fight. You know, it's been used a couple of times, but it's not enough. And in order for that to happen, Super Hot Crew have to get Millennium at a choke point. So when Millennium are moving through the jungle or moving through the lane, you can see Millennium are grouping up in the bottom lane. Super Hot Crew need to have better vision, that they can either jump on them from the side, pulling a death bush, or catch them off guard. Just jump over a wall instantly and try to get a 3-man, 4-man shockwave.
And I just feel like Glass Cannon setup is not going to work when you've got an Olaf with a Sunfire Cape, a Banshees, and a Randuin's, and the jungle's got a Randuin's, and the mid lane has got a Zhonya's Hourglass. And you've got Zilean in the team who's going to bring whoever does get low from that damage at the start right back into life. We see there Impaler taken half of his health away instantly by that ace in the hole, and to be honest, they can just push through. Look at the damage coming in. Mixer almost dies to that single combo out of Curb, and they just tank it up. Kevin took the entire ultimate out of Mr. Riles. Inhibitors going down.
So Super Hot Crew lose their first inhibitor. The poke that comes down from Millennium worked out perfectly. We talked about how they just forced you low. They don't want a team fight. Millennium actually are not looking for kills. Got themselves an inhibitor. There's the minions actually securing a tower there for Super Hot Crew, but it's not going to change anything. Yeah, Millennium can regen, push the minions up in the middle lane, then counter shove the top lane, and just get as many inhibitors down as possible, then siege the Nexus and close this game out.
Feels like a matter of time for Millennium. They've had trouble closing out games in the past, but I think the setup really is on their side this time. We'll have to see. We saw Alliance earlier on, despite being, I don't want to say behind, because that was a strange game where they remained ahead in gold and ended up losing a couple of team fights and then also the Baron as well. But we've seen comebacks happen, so the Super Hot Crew still have the ability to make something happen, and Millennium still have the ability to mess something up.
So for Millennium, just on the Super Week, this is potentially their second win, to have them go 2-2. Bomb comes down. I mean, look at that damage now. Millennium, oh, he's dead.
Yeah, Aranea jumping in for that one, and they're going for Aranea, and they didn't do anything to him. Aranea didn't really take any damage. The bomb will come in. Aranea steals it to get himself a double. This is inhibitor number 2. They can win the game.
There's so much damage on the side of Millennium. They've still got Chrono Shift. They've still got all of those bouncing bombs. It is just a matter of time before they get on those Nexus turrets. The Super Minions are about to get in there as well. So Millennium looks like they're going to go 2-2 on Super Week.
2-2, and I think as the bottom place team in the league right now, they can be quite happy with it. This one performed really, really well. The games that they've lost this week, they've performed really, really well in, and that is a vital win. Confidence going to be boosted for Millennium. They're going to need it in the fight against relegation.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. You look at the Super Hot Crew, they are now 0-3 on the week. They've lost to Alliance, they've lost to Fnatic, now they've lost to Millennium. I think the biggest thing we can take away from this week in particular is this is the first week that we've seen consistently good play across all of the games. Millennium in the past have shown moments of brilliance and then they've done nothing, or they've had a good laning phase, bad team fights. Great team fights, bad laning phase. And this time around, this week, they've had a lot more of it at all stages of the game.
it looks and this is the kind of League of Legends that, alright, it's maybe not the most interesting, it's not the back and forth super entertainment game that some are, but if you look at it from a purely tactical point of view, Millennium came in here with a plan, with a team. It worked out for them. They didn't stray from the plan, they didn't do anything silly, they did everything by the book.
There is absolutely nothing wrong in the compositional strategy that Millennium had in this game. They didn't really care about team fights. There was no, we said in the beginning, they don't have hard CC, but they don't need hard CC because they're not looking for those fights. They have Evelyn to roam around, flank when you need to, be that threat that keeps everybody wary, and then you just have Kerp on Ziggs and Creatine and Caitlyn poking them down. So a team fight can't happen because everybody's low all the time.
And it felt like, for Kerp in particular, a bit of a walk in the park, just throw your stuff in there. I picked up a couple of kills that time around, didn't this time, but it was just so hard for the Super Hot crew once they fall behind in that scenario to do anything. Impaler, I want to touch on him because he's been one of the more important figures in that Super Hot crew team in terms of guiding them to victories before. He had no impact.
No, he didn't. He got a couple of kills in the top lane. That was it. That was the contribution against Kevin. I feel like, though, as a team, coming into Super Week, the planning and the thought process for games may have been to slow it down, may have been to get some more control in their gameplay. But if you'd had a Gragas, which was available, no, it was banned actually.
It was banned. Yeah.
So they couldn't go for that in the mid lane. I mean, linear playstyle, I think, is what it boils down to. Because they didn't have Gragas, because they didn't have that Pantheon, the chaotic, the strong lanes, Super Hot crew can't get themselves into a lead, which they can then close out games. And this is a problem for them. They need to figure it out.
Well, good win for Millennium. Back to the drawing board for the Super Hot crew. Still have a chance to pick up a win later, though, when they take on the Copenhagen Wolves. We're going to step away for a moment while that Nexus gets rebuilt. But stay with us to see Shox and Quickshot speaking with Millennium's Kevin. Then Fnatic and SK Gaming go head-to-head. And Fnatic's Yellow Star has some high praise for his opponent's playstyle.
When we see them in game, we actually see that they have a strong gameplay. They actually copy a lot the Koreans, like we can see from OGN, and then we just look at their picks. They do exactly the same. They take the same playstyle, and it works pretty well for them.
They're like not so good right now, but I know it's Fnatic. They're gonna come back.
We ult Orianna now. Go, 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 Kerp.
Nice.
It's
Urfa, get it. Is that? Nice!
Oh, kom igjen, da.
It's fine, fine, fine. I kill him. Don't worry, I kill him.
Oh, duck bomb.
Oh, why you steal? Nice.
Why you steal?
Hello again and welcome back to today's continuing action in European LCS. Trevor has crossed the rift to join me here, and you're also joined by Millennium's top laner, Kevin. After that win versus the Super Hot crew, very happy voices all around. You both really needed a win, but you guys did really good in this matchup. How did you start in picks and bans? What did you really want to get your hands on?
So we first of all we thought they would let Cassidy maybe through. So Kerp prepared today with a hard herd. So yeah, but Ziggs was the pick we wanted. Like we expected actually them to ban it because Kerp was playing it just so amazingly, and yeah.
So let's very quickly. We've seen Millennium banning Cassidy on blue side before. So you said Kerp has been practicing it. Was it just in preparation for Super Week, or has it been in Kerp's back pocket the whole time?
So yeah, no one can actually practice Cassidy right now because it's always banned. You will never play it, maybe. So we didn't practice this a lot, and Kerp doesn't like it because he thinks it's actually weak. Yeah.
I think we beg to differ. Ro8 thought so too.
Yeah. I got a quick question about the rest of the composition before we move on to the game itself. I was basically trying to break down your team comp, and in my mind, you never really wanted to team fight. It was always about sieging, getting to towers, and getting poke. Was I right in that assumption? Is that how you guys went into the game?
Yeah, first of all, we wanted me strong as top laner and be ahead in CS and stuff like that, and have the pressure. And then we just tried to poke one down, and then take objectives. So as soon as we did that and got the advantage, we just pushed turrets, and with that comp, it was pretty easily.
Yeah, let's talk top lane a little bit. Olaf, we know you love that champion, but you haven't been playing it a lot. Why this time? Against the Jax. Yesterday, your Jax, not that convincing. So tell me about the matchup.
So yeah, last time I played Olaf was in Sao Paulo, and it went really good for me. And I actually don't know why I don't play him. I really love that champion because it's just like so beastly, and it fits my playstyle a lot. Because you just run in, and eventually you will die, but you will take something with you. And yeah, Jax versus Olaf is pretty much Olaf early, Jax later on. So I had really to take the advantage early. We failed some, well, we didn't fail, but the ganks we did were kind of counted always, and of course the level, I don't know, 7 gank on me, where I died, where I didn't have my ulti. But overall, it's like a good lane for me because I just love Olaf, and I feel comfortable with them.
I want to ask about a different top lane champion that we're not seeing very often anymore. We're still seeing the Renekton's and the Trundles. That seems to be the current top picks. But why no Shyvana?
So for us, mostly is it she lacks a lot of CC. Like if you don't have a really good initiator or follow-up, she's just not the best. And for us, it doesn't fit us too much because if I jump in and no one can follow, I'm dead. I don't know why other teams don't play it. Maybe she just has a lot of counters right now. For example, like even Jax, who would just be stronger than her, and still Renekton, Trundle, and even Mundo if he wants to. So I think there are just a lot of top lane champions that are